青や強がって飛び乗って風に流って青空昨日を越えろ Hello everybody and welcome back to Talking Mons, our Digimon Adventure 2020 recap podcast. My name is JD and joining me is Jeanette and Gary.
Hello!
Hi!
And we are here to talk about episode 6, which is called The Targeted Kingdom. So we talked about last week the episode preview for this episode showed that Mimi was going to show up, and she did. And she's a queen, I guess, queen of the plant people.
I like that, queen of the plant people.
Yeah, she's just queen plant, and she's like trapping bitches up and stuff.
Yeah, Mimi is like, I don't know, you know that song "Sweet But a Psycho"? Like, that's totally her in this episode.
A little bit. She's cray cray.
Yeah.
She's like
Go
ahead, Gary.
She's just very well adapted. Like I don't know how long she's been in the digital world, but she made herself home.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, I don't know how long she's been there, but she's made herself cozy.
Yeah, she's got a good thing going on.
And she like abandons it by the end of the episode. But
yeah, I feel like they're really trying for like the old like Saturday morning cartoon format for these episodes, and that it doesn't matter what, we're going to squeeze everything, this entire story into 20 minutes or less.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of dig it, like it gives me that old Saturday morning cartoon vibes.
Yeah. So I want to address one. I don't know how you guys felt about this, but so my biggest complaint of this show so far is that like there doesn't seem to be a lot of development between the kids and their partners before they evolve, especially with Biomon and Sora a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But in this instance, because they set it up as Mimi and Palmon have been together for a while already, the fact that they just show up in this episode and then Palmon evolves into Togemon, it like doesn't bother me. In fact, I'm actually way more okay with it. Even though they gave a very brief aside of like, oh, this is how we met. Okay. But their relationship shown in the show is like, oh, we're like good buds already. We've been hanging out for a while, so it's all good between us. So,
I think it really worked pretty well for what the show's been doing. Like, I thought it was believable, and it seemed to fit.
Yeah, and especially the part where, wait, I forgot her name.
Who?
Mimi's Digimon.
Palmon?
Yeah, Palmon. Like especially when the parts she's like glitching, like
yeah, that was
before they evolve. Yeah, that was like whoa.
That was that was an interesting.
That was intense.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice for them to show like, oh hey, she's kind of dying, and like to kind of show that they like kind of glitch out when they're like near death. I thought it was kind of a good, nice aesthetic choice.
Yeah, and that part where she's like, "You're not supposed to be here," like, that tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah,
and I have a black cold heart, so.
Yeah, so I really like that the way they set up their relationship. I like that it was like already pre-established before we met these characters. So the fact that they're like, she's able to evolve already just right after meeting them, like it makes sense.
Yeah. Although go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Although I wonder if like them already going like here in episode 6, I'm like, is this series going to get like the original Digimon was kind of dark, and I'm like, I think they're going to go for the same thing in this one too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with like Ogremon is like pursuing them the whole time, and I
now
mean,
he has a vendetta, a personal vendetta now with the horn thing.
Oh yeah, they fucking chop his horn off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the fights in this episode. It was kind of cool to see them basically like defending the fort and trying to like I liked they set up the traps. It was really funny because I didn't realize how they were like they set up the wall, and I'm like, okay, they're like I thought they were gonna freak out after the wall fell down because it's like the wall did nothing to stop Ogrmon's forces from coming in. But they're like, nah, we got these pitfall traps like ready to go. So I like that. And then they're like, the monsters are like, well, screw this. We're gonna go around the side door and come in. And then like Ty and Agumon have to like run all the way over there, which I don't know how they outran them, but I don't know. I just like kind of like the setup.
Hey, Ty plays soccer. That can make him faster than a dinosaur.
Sure, why not? Also, I don't know if you guys noticed, I liked after Mimi inducted them into her kingdom, everyone has little plant seeds on their head.
Yes.
It like immediately falls off.
I was hoping that we would get to see Digimon's evolution sequence, like how.
Oh, Bergermon. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Yeah. So I'm thinking that like because Agumon's got his big sexy transformation, it's like all glitzy and like a lot of animation went into it. We've seen Tentomon and Palmon's evolution, and I kind of like, even though I wish everyone had like the big flashy seeing like all their previous stages up until that point before they evolve kind of thing that Agumon has. I do kind of like what they're doing with the evolution sequence where you're actually watching the appendages of the stage they're going into like grow out of them. So like Tentomon, like he grows Kabuterymon's arms and in like his giant wings before his head morphs into the helmet. And then Palmon kind of has like a similar thing going on into Togemon. So I kind of like that's setup that they're going for, but like again, I kind of wish like everyone had like a really big like really intricate evolution sequence. But Gary, you're right, like Bergermon, well, this is like maybe like the third time we've seen Bergermon. We've yet to see her evolution sequence.
This one is entirely off screen too.
Yeah, totally.
Bergermon is like the unloved stepchild of Digimon, apparently.
Apparently.
The redheaded stepchild.
It's like we like got a glimpse of it for like half a second when she does it the first time, but like what? No love for Bergermon's evolution sequence? No, we're not doing that?
Because what you say, evolution sequence for Palmon makes sense. I mean, it's sort of like Agumon's first time we see this evolution. It's within the context of the story, not a colorway piece.
Right. I also want to say Palmon's evolution line is one of the funniest things to me because it's like starts out as this kind of little like cute little plant dinosaur monster, turns into a giant cactus with boxing glove, and then its two next evolutions are sexy little plant ladies.
Yes.
It doesn't make any. I mean, it makes as much sense as a hamster turning into an angel, but I don't know that whole sequence line. It like doesn't add up, and I find it hilarious.
I do too, and like I don't know, like it just goes from such a like awkward Digimon to such a pretty Digimon, and like it makes no sense. But
it's like I love Togemon. It's like if you gave a Cactar boxing gloves.
I mean, yeah, like it's definitely original.
I love Togemon. It's one of my favorites. It's so simple yet so elegant.
This is where we part ways. Like Togemon was never, but a part of it was I just didn't like Mimi in the original series because.
Oh yeah, like I didn't like Mimi at all, and I don't like. I'm not really like I'm pretty much indifferent to everyone, but I don't know. Like I guess the simplicity of Togemon's design is just like it's a cactus with boxing gloves. Fuck you. Like I can get down with that. It's easy to draw.
I mean, true.
Yeah. We also kind of saw again when the Digimon evolve, the crest symbols are glowing on the Digivices, so I'm still kind of wondering if crests are gonna be a thing in this show or if they're kind of gonna not do that this time.
I guess we'll find out. Like I actually tried to go on my anime list and see how many episodes this was, and they don't know. And like,
right?
And if they don't know, no one knows.
I'm looking at just what the episode list on Wikipedia. They have episodes scheduled out to episode 11 in mid-August, so we at least have that much.
Yeah.
If
this,
I guess the easiest way to see is if any new anime is scheduled for the same time slot in Japan.
Right.
Pretty much.
If we can't see any, then that means it's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
In the next season.
But yeah, with the pacing of the episodes and just you can't really get a feel for what length they're trying for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I mean, next episode we saw the preview that Joe's gonna show up.
I am so ready for next episode.
Which so I've said multiple times that my wife knows next to nothing about Digimon, and she's actually sitting about 5 feet from me right now. And that literally, I find it hilarious that her main takeaway is that she likes Gomamon. It's like her favorite.
Gomamon is the best.
And pretty much every episode we've watched together, she keeps asking when Gomamon's gonna show up.
Well,
it was funny because like last episode, I was like at the end of the last episode, I was like, when's Mimi gonna show up? And then it like immediately shows her that she's like, oh, she's in the next episode. And then we were watching this episode, and Mel was like, when's Gomamon gonna show up? And then it shows that Joe's gonna be in the next episode. I'm like, oh, well, there you go.
Finally.
Asking you get your question answered, I guess. But
yeah. I think they're saving Matt for last because he's like the foil to Tai, so he has to be
Matt's
last.
already shown up. He's already done his business. He can go do whatever emo kids do these days. I don't know.
I mean, he hasn't shown up in the digital world though, so he's just going to be like doing his loner thing in the digital world, and then they'll find him. I'm pretty sure.
Matt needs some like makeup or something to go with his personality.
Yes. So
he's too blonde.
Yeah, I just want to get back to the episode.
Yeah.
Those little they're like the training form or whatever of Palamon.
Mm-hmm.
Just those ways, the mass of them just staring in the episode. I'm pretty sure it's going to haunt my dreams now.
Oh, speaking of Tanamon, so because I'm a nerd, the first couple times that they show them, just because of the way they're angled, it looks like they only have 2 feet. And something in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know they have 4 feet. I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
And there's like one shot of them like in a tree and they have 4 feet again. And I'm like, there it is. But then they go back to having 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothered me. And I'm like, it shouldn't bother me because it's a show for children.
There's no budget for a 3rd and 4th foot.
That's true. Extra feet cost money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One little thing that I would change about this episode, otherwise it's pretty good, is that at the very end, Mimi was saying that, the fruit stealing Digimons are gone, so she can leave. I feel like since she knows that, well, all of the kids know that they're being targeted, she should have said something like, oh no, if I stay here, everybody might get hurt again.
That's what I thought they were going to go for. It's just that I can't stay here and protect you because I'm a target. And then I kind of feel like they bitched out and did what they did instead. Like, these training Digimon can protect themselves. No, they can't. They're training Digimon. They can't protect themselves.
So, I agree with you, but in defense of the way they did it, they're 3rd graders.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, rather than like, oh, I've got a target on me, and if I stay here, you're all in danger. Them circling back to like, oh, hey, the guys that were stealing our fruit are gone. You guys are cool now. Is totally a 3rd grader's logic.
I mean, that is true.
So like, I was totally fine with her. Like, that's her reason. That's her excuse for being okay with leaving. But Gary, I do also agree with you. Like, logically, yes, that's what she should have said. But like, what she did say, I'm like, yeah, that also kind of makes sense for how old she's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she had this whole thing about how she was the queen of this kingdom, so.
Yeah, man. She gave up her kingdom. She gave it back to the people. It's a democracy now.
Yes.
I just want to know more about her becoming the queen, because it's like we saw her meeting Palmon for the first time, and then bam, queen. I want to know the process that went into that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to bring up before we start wrapping up?
I do. I
Okay.
am on the Digimon wiki right now, and one of the possible evolution after Togemon. Well, Togemon is a cactus with boxing glove. A possible evolution is Ponchomon, which is a cactus wearing a sombrero.
Okay,
with
so
a
I
poncho.
know about Ponchomon. Is Ponchomon? I thought Ponchomon was an armor. Yeah, it's. Oh, I guess it could be both. Weird. I thought it was like a. I guess they changed it because I know Ponchomon was supposed to be like an armor. Someone's armor variant, but I guess they made it also an ultimate level. So, yeah.
And I just love this design.
Oh, I love Ponchomon.
Yeah.
He's a little cactus. He's got a poncho and a sombrero. It's beautiful. I love him.
I'm looking him up right now.
There's also, after Lilymon, there is a Bancho Lilymon, which is a goth version of Lilymon.
Dude, have you seen the Bancho ones? It's literally like they just made a bunch of variants that are like the school enforcers. So there's like Bancho Leomon. I think Mamimon has one. And they got the hat and they just got the hat and the jacket, and they're just like the school toughs or whatever.
That's great.
I love it. Before we go, for the listeners, just because this is news to me, apparently this is streaming same day as Crunchyroll on Hulu. I was just scrolling through Hulu and just like, here's Digimon Adventure 2020, and I'm like, what? And then I looked at it and they're like, yep, we've got all the episodes up, and I'm like, was nobody going to tell me? I just had to figure this out on myself. I mean, watch it on Crunchyroll or maybe some less legal sources, but
give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he fishes for a lifetime.
Hell yeah. So yeah, so now I can watch it on Hulu, and so can you if you don't want to pay for Crunchyroll.
But you still have to pay for Hulu.
Well, I already pay for Hulu, so it's not another service I have to pick up.
See, I'm a schlub, and I have VRV because I'm a weeaboo. So
Verb.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I feel like you get a lot of stuff with Verb from what I've
from
what I hear.
Verb is like, I really think I get my money's worth out of Verb. I kind of wish Funimation didn't leave though, because I can't justify playing for Funimation on its own. But I miss
Yeah, I even asked. I think I asked Facebook the other day, and I'm like, is Crunchyroll or Funimation a better service? And I kind of got differing answers, but like, I don't know. But this show's on Hulu now, so that makes my life easier.
Mm-hmm.
So just want to share that with the listeners in case anyone else didn't know.
And I want to share, there's a prairie dog like Digimon called Prairiemon. That's like a prairie dog with metal claws, and it's like in a blade ear, and it's the best thing ever.
Hell yeah. Dude, basically just go look up like the armor variants for everybody. There's some crazy designs in there that never got used in the show, because it's like pretty much every character from season 2 can use every egg, and they all have like their own variants.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Like
that's amazing.
Vmon can use every egg. Hawkmon can use every egg. So there's like a fire Hawkmon. There's like a lightning one. It's bananas, man. Go look up the armor variants for everybody. It's crazy.
It's your homework for the week.
There you go.
Well, I'm doing that right now.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in this week. We'll be back again next week. We're gonna meet Joe. So I'm excited to see what Mr. Neurosis himself is up to. After his not apparently non-lethal accident at camp. So yeah. We'll be back again next week to discuss that episode, but until then, everybody take care, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
All right, have a good one.